What's cooking, Ange?
Okay, so we're gonna try something again that I've not tried before. Weather's starting to get a little bit warmer, days are getting a little bit longer, but still looking for things, maybe a little more comfort food. So today I'm gonna make, it's a roasted chicken. I'm gonna use a large cast iron skillet. I'm gonna cook all the vegetables and the chicken all together in this cast iron skillet. So it's kind of a one pan meal, limited number of dishes. I've done quite a bit of prep to get ready for this, so don't be scared about the fact that there's a lot of ingredients and maybe quite a few steps. I think there's value in sometimes taking a weekend and kind of shutting everything out, get yourself in your kitchen and just, working on something that's, for me, it's my creative side. It's the only way I show my creativity, right? Because I'm a total right brain person. Let's get started. So first thing I have here is a bowl that's got about a pound of carrots, and I don't peel my carrots. I simply brush them off really good and make sure that there's no dirt on them or any strings on them. And then I've got four beets that I peeled, and then I've got radishes. So I've never done roasted radishes, so that'll be interesting. And I basically I washed them, cut the tops off, cut them in half. And then I took about 2/3 of a Vidalia onion, peeled it, cut it in quarters because I think it would just give it some flavor. Tossed it with some olive oil and salt and pepper. Next, I will get ready. So I've got my chicken. It's about a 4.5 pound chicken. Should be great for the three of us to eat tonight. May have a little bit of leftovers, which is fine. You can throw on a salad. So it already comes with all the giblets removed. So there's no heart, there's no liver, none of that. What you'll want to do is just cut away any excess fat. So I usually cut the tail off. You can use a pair of kitchen shears or a knife. Pretty easy. And then take a paper towel and dry the whole thing out. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to make basically a paste that we're going to stuff underneath the skin, and then we're going to fill the cavity with fresh lemon, and then we'll go ahead and kind of start to assemble it. So I wanted to just show you a couple things, and again, don't get too concerned about the prep, but they're easy. So lemon, super easy and perfect. They're all in season this time of year. So I've got one lemon that all I did was quarter it. I have another lemon, and this is my little lemon juicer. So I just need the juice of one lemon. So I'm just going to finish this one here.
What happens if you don't have a lemon juicer?
You could try to squeeze them as much as you can. You're not going to get as much out. If that's the case, I would probably go with 1.5 because you can see I get quite a bit of the lemon out of this. So then I also, before I did that, I used my microplane grater and I just lightly took all of the zest off the outside. Now you don't want to go all the way down to the white. So it's just kind of quickly going over it. You want to get basically the yellow. It's very bitter. It's got oil in it, but it has a very, very strong flavor. So it's great for chicken. I've got some fresh thyme here. Just bought at the store. Again, can't wait till I can start growing my own in the summer because it's 100 times cheaper. And all you do is you just take the little tiny leaves off of the stems. I've got those here. Ginger. So I used to be somebody that would just use ginger powder, and it's fine for baking, not at all when it comes to cooking. And the one tip I found, because I felt like, you buy these things and you throw 90% of it away. Somebody told me, or I read a hack where stick it in a baggie and throw it in your freezer. And every time you need ginger, just grate off what you need and throw it back in the freezer. So the last recipe we made with ginger, I bought the ginger like a year ago and I've been using it multiple times, still is fresh. So what you want to do is just peel a little bit of it away.
Fresh is relative.
Well, it's tastes fresh. It's frozen, so it's not like it's been processed or anything else. Just frozen, just like frozen vegetables and fruit.
Which
usually
are not fresh.
Anyway, okay. So I should have about a teaspoon or so here, which looks good. Throw this in my baggie. So all these things are great to add flavor to chicken. So in this bowl here, I've got about half a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper and a half a teaspoon of sea salt. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add to that a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. I still haven't gotten to the point where I buy my own garlic and mince it. I don't know. This is super convenient, so.
She's slacking.
Yeah, it's super convenient. To that, I'll go ahead and add.
Smells good.
Yeah, I'll add my sage. I'll add all my ginger.
She meant thyme.
Sorry, you're right, thyme. Well, this recipe is supposed to have tarragon in it. Store didn't have tarragon, so all I did was do a substitute for tarragon.
Oh.
And basically it came up with, I could use sage, but I have to mix sage with fennel. So fennel has a little bit of a licorice flavor to it. Usually it's in sausage. So I bought dry fennel seed, and I actually have a mortar and pestle. And all I've been doing is sitting here and grinding this. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can use the side of a knife. You can chop it and then flatten it, because all we're trying to do is open up the seed and get the little bit of powder that's on the inside. The great thing about a mortar and pestle, if you're somebody that uses a lot of dried spices, you can wake your spices up by chopping them. It will help kind of release the flavor. So we're gonna add a little bit of fennel seed to that, and then about a tablespoon or so of olive oil, because we're just, again, trying to make a paste. And my lemon juice. Okay. Just whisk all that together. Okay. Now, hopefully you guys can see this. So, catch me from the side. So it's very easy to stuff a chicken. And actually, my sister, if she sees this video, will laugh, because this is exactly what she does at Thanksgiving when she stuffs her turkey. So there's a center piece where the skin attaches to like the split between the breastbone. So I'm gonna break that. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna stick it all as far as I can up in there. And what that's going to do is just flavor that breast meat, and it's gonna seep right down into the rest of the chicken. It's like I'm not gonna use it all. So it probably looks like I'm gonna have quite a bit of juice left over, which is fine. But try to make sure you get all the garlic and most of those spices. There, kind of seal that back up. Wash my hands. So that chicken, which again will feed all three of us, and I could have some left over, $9. So not that expensive to feed your family. Don't need a grill, super easy. Get a cast iron skillet. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you'll have one for the rest of your life, because they never wear out. Now I'm going to take these wedges of lemon, and all I'm going to do is just shove them all down in the cavity of this chicken. And that's going to help distribute that lemon flavor and keep it from getting dried out. Okay. Just like that. Okay, now comes the fun part. So I have my oven on a 450. Can you still see me? I have my oven on 450, so super hot, and I stuck my cast iron skillet in the oven when I started to turn it on. So it's probably been sitting in there 10 minutes or so. So it's very, very hot. We're gonna cook this for a period of time at this 450, and then we're gonna reduce it. So I'm gonna get it out and put it all together. Okay, you can see it's smoking.
Smoking hot.
Yep. Take my vegetables. Just gonna throw them down in it. Oh, there goes the fire. You're gonna pause it. Okay, so no fire trucks came. So I've got my vegetables in here, and you can tell it's super hot. So I'm gonna take this chicken. I'm just gonna sit it right on the top. Kind of tuck my wings and my feet in a little bit. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm just going to puncture a few holes so that it's going to blister up. That way if it bubbles, it doesn't like make a big bubble. I mean, it'll keep it from making a big bubble. Now I'm going to cook this for only like 20 minutes at 450. And then after that, I'm going to reduce it to 350. And then it's going to cook for probably an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. So once we kind of get to that point, I'll have you guys come back, because what we'll end up doing once the chicken is done is taking that off, adding a little bit of chicken broth in with the vegetables, and then I'll add a foil over and we'll cook those quick and make sure that they're all done. So we'll be back in a while. Okay guys, so we're back. So I'm gonna take this chicken off of here. It's about at 165, so you're gonna wanna find the thickest part of the thigh and make sure it sits at 165 so that you can make sure the whole thing is done. You can see it's got a nice crisp crust on the top. Sorry, I'm just like kind of checking this all out. I'm gonna sit it over here. All these vegetables, there's quite a bit of juice. So I ended up cooking at a high temperature for 20 minutes at 450, and then I added maybe a half a cup of chicken broth. Next time I do it, I might reduce that. So when I actually post the ingredients, I'll make sure that I know that. But I don't know, it looks pretty good. I don't know.
So what are you gonna do now, Ange?
We're just gonna cut into it and see what it looks like. So the crust is, I mean, if you want to eat the skin, you definitely can. Sorry, it's super.
So she's just going at the spine and an angle out towards the drum and the wing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all very tender, so you can eat it however you want. To be honest, we'll probably sit in the middle of the island and we'll just go after it. So.
Savage.
So again, anything that's left over, I will save and we'll probably just throw in a salad, but give it a shot. Don't be afraid to try something new.
You can tell she's impressed. She's speechless.